Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back this time to video number 4, where in under 7 minutes we're going to talk about profit maximization. Now this is probably one of the most fun chapters to talk about because everybody wants to talk about profit when it comes to trading, but can I reiterate one of the most important messages about trading and day trading professionally is that as a professional day trader, we do love to focus on profit, sure, but the most important thing we focus on is risk. And you never ever want to be trading an account too aggressively. It's actually one of the 7 deadly sins called over trading your account, which actually means you're risking more money than you should on a trade that you've taken. An industry standard tends to suggest around about 2% of your account is the maximum you should be risking on any one trade. Now, we'll do a lot more work on that during the course and a lot more work on that when we actually get a chance to talk to you and talk about trading and what it is that we do. But certainly a golden rule would be I'd certainly never risk more than 2% of your trading account on any one particular trade. Now, profit maximization. Really key point, ladies and gents. Understanding how to maximize your profit is understanding how to let a trend move in your favor for as long as the trend runs. Now, there are 3 methods of achieving profit maximization. The first is a progressive stop loss movement that we actually did in the previous video. The second is the use of a long-range profit target, which I'm going to do on the next chart, but also the use of 2 targets, which allows for a really, really cool little phenomenon we refer to in the course as a proactive risk control strategy. What we'll do, ladies and gents, we'll come back to our original chart. Again, you can see our little gold move up here between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning this morning. Now, we've got our original trade identified, which is good fun. With $140 at risk in the trade, which is the stop loss that we spoke about earlier, what we would seek to do is always have a minimum of a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. What does this mean? It literally means is we've got $140 at risk. The minimum target we would seek to trade for is, guess what, $140 target. We never want to reduce our reward lower than our risk when we first start our trading journey. Now, as we move on, ladies and gents, let me ask you a question. If you get very, very good at going for a $140 target because your risk is $140, what's actually stopping you from going for a $280 profit target, or as we refer to in the course, double the risk target? What is actually stopping you for going for a $280 target? The only thing stopping you is experience and know-how. My point, ladies and gents, is this. If you were to set a $280 target, all you needed to do in this case is sit in the trade for around about 15 minutes longer. The only difference between a $140 target and a $280 target on this particular trade is 15 minutes. That 15 minutes, however, as a new trader seems like a lifetime, particularly when you need to be disciplined and you need to be patient and you need to follow the strategy. Now, I will raise a point, ladies and gents. We're currently talking about a $10 tick, and of course, if you get 28 of them, 28 times 10 is a $280 profit. But let me just fuel your imagination for a second. Do you know that you could have taken this exact trade using a $100 tick, not a $10 tick? So is there anything wrong with you starting with a $10 tick and then you get really good at 10s, you go to 20s, then you get good at 30s, and eventually you go all the way to 100? Why do I raise that question, ladies and gents? I raise it because of this. Trading is incredibly scalable. If you had have taken exactly this trade this morning, trading a $100 tick, not a $10 tick, instead of making either $140 or $280, you would have been making $1,400 or $2,800. So for those of you thinking, gee, I'd love to make $100 or $200 a day, this little move on gold this morning offered traders that understand what they're doing the potential for up to $3,000 profit in around about 45 minutes. Sounds a lot sexier than 300. How do we get better at trading? We get better at profit. We get better at understanding profit maximization and how you trade bigger positions. Now, moving on, ladies and gents, we can use a long-range target like this, or what we can also do is use a double target strategy. Now, in this case here, what we might do if we seek to trade a double target strategy, we might seek to go for targets of 10 and 30. What a 10 and 30 strategy allows us to do is really exciting risk control. Here are my two targets at 10 and 30 ticks respectively. What we can do, ladies and gents, is once the market gets to our first target and pays our 10s, we can then move our stop loss from negative to neutral, i.e. we're moving our stop loss to a position where we cannot lose money on the trade, particularly pertaining to our long range target up there at 30 ticks. What we can then do is we can use a trailing stop, as I referred to in video number 2. So as we move further and further and further towards our 30 tick target, we can reduce our risk further and further and further to the point we end up with positive risk. A bonus, ladies and gents, we've already been paid our 10 tick target. So if we've already been paid our 10 tick target and now our stop loss for our second target is exactly where we got in, how much money do we have at risk? Absolutely nothing. In fact, we've already banked $100 and we're going for another $300 as the market moves up. So this little trade here is worth around about $400 if the market does actually go exactly where we're expecting it to go. So two strategies, ladies and gents, when it comes to profit maximization. You can either use a long range target as we did in the first scenario, or you can use a double target strategy, which enables you to do a stop loss movement and phenomenal risk control. And as I said in previous chapters and also in this chapter, ladies and gents, your risk control is fundamental to your trading success. What we're now going to do is we're now going to move on to the fifth and final chapter. We're going to talk about trading psychology, and we're going to talk about what it takes for you to not only get on the job to being a great trader, but also start your trading journey with the right trading psychology. So without any further delay, ladies and gents, on to video number 5.